Warning: this video contains graphic descriptions and imagery of ritual violence, including human sacrifice. Viewer discretion is advised.
Imagine wandering through a mist-choked marsh at first light, the air cold and still, your breath fogging in front of you. Your foot sinks with a soft squelch into the peat, and you pause. There, half submerged and impossibly lifelike, lies a human body. Skin leathered to a deep mahogany, hair intact, facial features preserved as if frozen in a final, silent scream. You straighten up, heart pounding, and realize you've just stumbled onto one of history's darkest secrets. Iron Age Celts offering human lives to their watery underworld gods. Welcome to the world of the bog bodies, a world where sacrifice, superstition, and survival collided in the murky depths of Europe's peatlands. It all began thousands of years ago, when communities thrived on the edge of vast wetlands, lands as dangerous as they were bountiful. To the Celts, these bogs were alive, living altars beneath the earth, gateways to a realm ruled by gods of water, death, and rebirth. In their minds, the bog was more than a swamp. It was a living deity demanding tribute. And when crops failed or sickness swept through a village, the answer was always the same: a body in the bog. Archaeologists have now uncovered over 100 such victims across Ireland, Denmark, Germany, and the Netherlands. Each discovery reads like a crime scene from another world. One of the earliest finds, called the Tollund Man, was unearthed in 1950 on a Danish farm. His face still bore a calm expression, as though he'd simply fallen asleep. Around his neck was a leather noose. Radiocarbon tests placed him around 400 BC. He'd been stripped naked, ceremonially cleaned, and then hanged, offered to the gods in a ritual older than Rome itself. But the Tollund Man is only the beginning. There's the Lindow Man from England, whose final moments were truly horrific. A blow to the head, a garrote around the neck, and a slit throat before finally being bog-buried. His eyes were open, his tongue protruding, body contorted, trapped in that eternal mire. Modern forensic analysis revealed bruises on his arms, suggesting he tried to fight back. This was not just an offering. It was a performance, a spectacle of power, fear, and faith. Then there's the Clonycavan Man from Ireland, discovered in 2003. He wore a headband fashioned from animal hide and plant fibers, a crown that once marked him as someone of importance, perhaps a king or warrior. Analysis of the peat around him showed he'd been deposited in spring, when the bog's powers were thought to be strongest. His skull had been bashed in, his torso penetrated by a sharp blade. No one knows his name, but his final moments speak volumes about the ferocity of Celtic belief. And these are just the best preserved. A German bog yielded the so-called Old Croghan Man, his torso impaled on a wooden stake, arms outstretched, as if crucified. His fingernails were recently manicured, his beard trimmed. DNA tests show he was tall, probably from a noble lineage. He died around 360 BC, at a time of social upheaval. Was he a traitor, a rival king, or simply a scapegoat chosen to restore cosmic balance? Every detail adds suspense. The bogs preserve their victims through unique chemistry. Low oxygen, high acidity, and cold temperatures slow decomposition. Peat acids tan the skin, turning it dark and supple, while calcium leaches from bones, leaving them fragile or even dissolved. Hair, nails, and stomach contents remain. They become microscopic time capsules revealing last meals of grains, homebrewed beer, even water from specific springs. When scientists analyze the pollen in a man's stomach, they can pinpoint the season of death. This is forensic history at its most visceral. These sacrifices weren't random acts of violence, they were deeply ritualized. To understand why, we have to glimpse Celtic cosmology. They believed in a trilateral world: the sky above, the land of men in the middle, and a watery underworld beneath. Rivers and springs were portals, and bogs, vast, bottomless pools, were the gates. To appease the gods, the Celts offered valuables: weapons, jewelry, even chariots. But when fate turned grim, crop blight, plague, political turmoil, only a human gift could tip the scales. We can't ignore the gravity of these sacrifices. For the Celts, life and death intertwined in rituals designed to stave off chaos. For us, bog bodies are archaeological gold, gifts from the past that offer glimpses of human belief, brutality, and survival. They force us to confront uncomfortable truths: that our ancestors embraced violence for divine favor, that they saw no line between nature and the supernatural, and that their desperation mirrored our own in times of crisis. So what lessons can we carry forward? Perhaps it's this, that faith, fear, and hope are eternal companions to humanity. When crops fail or disease strikes, we reach for meaning in sacred places. Today, our offerings might be charity drives, prayers, or public health campaigns, but the impulse is the same. We create rituals, symbols, even sacrifices, emotional or economic, to placate invisible forces and secure the future. Next time you hear about a startling archaeological find, or watch a documentary on ancient rituals, remember the bog bodies. Let us honor these individuals not as mythic figures, but as real people who endured a harsh fate, and remember the human cost behind these ancient rites. Their story, buried in black mire for centuries, now speaks directly to us, of ritual, reverence, and the lengths we'll go to save what we love. Thanks for diving into this dark corner of history with me. If you're hungry for more gripping tales of forgotten rituals, hit subscribe and ring the bell. Ancient Odyssey will keep unearthing the strangest, most haunting stories from our shared past. Stay curious, stay brave, and I'll see you in the next episode.